Hello everyone, welcome to part 33 of reactjs tutorial with Laravel for beginners. And in this video, we are going to start working on the add to cart post API. Okay, so we are going to insert product in user card. But before that, I'm going to show you that this thing we have done so far. This is the product detail page where the user can able to select the site here. See, like if the user goes to the listing page and can select any of the product, then he can able to select this site, any of this site, and then he can click on proceed. Okay, to see the checkout page, this is the selected site. And now if he will click on the checkout page, the that checkout page will come, see, with the delivery form, okay, in which the user can enter his delivery address and can review his order details and can finally place order. Okay, but once the user will click on checkout, first of all we are going to add the product in the user card. Okay, so see, uh, I'm going to show you the user card here. I'm going to open the cards table. See, for the cards table, user is required here. The user ID is required. Product ID, size, quantity we will send as one. Okay, I have told you that this is the basic React app we are making, so we will not allow the multiple items to add. We will not show the shopping cart here, but the user can able to place one product, order for the one product, order for the single product. Okay, so here you can see that we have the number of columns here. And one more thing here we want to do, we can show here the device, or we can show here something like order has come from the app or the website. Okay, source is the best word. So I'm going to add here one column, okay, in our cars table. Okay, you can add the column with the help of migration like we used to do lot of time, but here I'm going to add simply with the php my admin. Okay, after quantity I'm going to add one column here, source, so that I will mention the source as app if the user is coming from the app. Okay, see, we can take here enum also. Okay, and by default we can take the source as website, but let's take varchar only. Okay, varchar 255. I think enum is better because here in website also we need to add this source. Okay, so I'm going to take it like website or app. Okay, whether the user adds the product from the website or the app, and by default I'm going to take it like website. Okay, so I'm going to click on save. Okay, you can see source enum website or app. Okay, so after this one, let's come back here. And here, see, we have all the data, but we don't have, we have the id, product id, we have the site, and now we have that source also. Quantity we will add as one. Only thing that is left, we don't have the user id. Session id is 0 because we only allow the logged in user. Okay, so we need to fetch the user id. Here you can see the user is already logged in, that's why the checkout button is coming. So for the logged in user we can able to fetch the data. Okay, like we able to fetch in the account component. You can see the account component here. Okay, so in the account component we can able to get the data from the local storage. Okay, we are saving everything in the local storage, so we can easily get the data from the local storage. So I am going to copy the first two. Okay, we will get the data from local storage and we'll put it as the, like, this is the variable, this is the variable in reactjs we used to declare the and initialize the variable like this. Okay, I have already explained you earlier. So I'm going to copy these two and we'll paste it inside the detail. Okay, where we can able to fetch the user details from the local storage where we are storing the user data. If in case the user is not logged in, the data will not come here. Okay, so here we are going to take it like user id. Okay, because here I don't want that id will conflict with some of the other id in this page. So here also I will mention it like the set user id, and here we can also make it like this. Okay, like we have the set product id, here we are having the set user id. Okay, and here user dot user detail dot id. Okay, so this field I am going to add this field as the hidden field input, like we have added here the hidden field for product ID. Here I'm going to add the hidden field for the user ID as well. Okay, so I'm going to have the hidden field for the user ID. I am going to make it test. First of all, I just want to make it sure that we able to get the user ID or not. Okay, so I will first of all will take this field as the test. Okay, so now here the value will come as the user ID. There we have taken user ID, we will take it like the user ID. Okay, and here set product, here the user ID, set user ID will come up like this, set user ID, and that is done. Okay, so I'm going to check it once. See, the ID, user ID has come up here 20. So we are going to verify this user ID is fine or not, and here you can see the user ID is correct. We are logged in with this user. Here you can see this is the user we are logged in, so this user ID is fine. If we are going to log in with some other user ID, it will show the user ID of that user. Okay, we can even try, like I'm going to log in with this user amit3000@yahoo.com. Just make sure that this status is active and account is verified. Okay, so this is having the 25th ID. I'm going to log in with this ID, so let's try. I'm going to log out and we try to log in with this ID, and let's see login. Yeah, login is done, and now I will go to the product. See, here you can see now I'm going to select this size. Okay, and after selecting this size, and here you can see the 25th ID, so it's fine. Okay, we able to fetch the user ID as well. Okay, so now we will make the user ID, this one, as the hidden as well, because we are not going to show to the user. Okay, but it's hidden, so we can take it to the checkout. Okay, checkout button, and here in the checkout button I am going to see, in button I'm going to make one function that we can call in this button. In the checkout button we can able to call that function we are going to make. Okay, so I'm going to make the function name here, button on click. Here I'm going to make it on click, and here add to card, I'm going to make it add to card function like this. Okay, on click add to card function, and this function I am going to create this function here. We are going to create after here. Okay, here we are going to create like we used to create. I'm going to create the unsynchronous function a s y n c. Okay, make sure the spellings are correct. Function. Okay, add to card, add to card. Okay, so this is the function that we are going to use, this function. Okay, so I'm going to alert it once just to check that this function is working fine. Okay, nothing to do, we are going to work on this function later on after creating the API, because we have not created the API. Just want to verify that the function is working fine. Okay, we're going to click on checkout. Here the test is coming, so the function is working fine. Okay, so now we have the user ID, we have the product ID, we have the site, we have everything that we require to create the API. Okay, so now we are going to create that add to cart post API. Okay, in the similarly that we have created in the web.php. If you remember, I'm going to show you that there also we have given but here the route is called add. This is the route, and here in products controller I'm going to show you same kind of route. We are going to make same kind of function. We are going to create card add. Okay, here you can see that we able to add the product in card. Session ID is not there, we will pass it as 0. User ID is, we are having product ID, we are having site, we are having quantity, we are going to save it as 1. Source is the app. Okay, so let's uh, create api.php, and here we are going to create the post method add to card API. Here we are going to take it route post. Okay, so here we are going to create it like add to card. Add to card, we can create it like this, add to card. Okay, so add to card, and here API controller, at the rate of add to cart. Okay, so this function we are going to create inside API controller. Here we are going to create this function. After the detail function we are going to create this function, public function add to cart, and see. Okay, so here the data will come up here, request $request. So we will first get the data in that $data $request all $request input. We are going to take the input here like this. Okay, and also uh, we are going to verify first of all that the data is comes as the post method or not. So here also we are going to add if $request is method post. Okay, so inside this we are going to have this data. Okay, $request input. Okay, so see here inside this now we are going to save the data here. Okay, we have the data comes and we are going to save it like save product in cars table, and first like $item equal to new card. We are going to add this the product in card. Okay, see we are going to take the session id as 0. Okay, and see here the session id, and here the user id we are already passing the user id here, $data user id is coming from there. Okay, it will come from there. We are going to check from the postman or from the thunder client. Okay, so product id as well will come from there. Okay, and after that the site also it will come from there, site. Okay, product size, and the quantity we will pass it as 1. Also source, see source is app, source is app. Okay, and we are going to save this one, $item save. Finally we are going to say $item save. Okay, save products in cards table. Okay, so here after saving, see we will take the user back, but that we are going to see later. But here we want to save, and yeah, return response. Here response we are going to send with the success message, like we used to send the success message all the time. Okay, so see we are just required to send the success message like this, and here after this we are going to send such message. This is not required, just the status true, and we will add car product added in user card successfully. Okay, like this. Okay, so now we are going to check once in the we can check here. In here we can test this API like we are testing earlier also, this detailed API. Here we are going to test this one. uh, Here this is the add to cart. Okay, post API, and here we are going to take the data as JSON. Okay, so here we are going to take the data like uh, see user ID, that will come from here, user ID. Okay, user ID, whatever user ID 1. Okay, so the product ID we are going to check product id like this. Okay, see later on we are going to see we are going to use the variable there. Okay, we may change these variables, there is no issue, you can change the variable as per your own choice. Okay, so product id may be 1 also. Okay, see here user id we will take it like 20, whatever user id is 20. Okay, product id 1. So after product id, here size also coming. Okay, size also coming, that like we are going to have this size here large. Okay, so what else? I think that is enough. Three things: user id, product id we will check here. uh, Here detail, three things only I think. Yeah, name, here see user id. Okay, here I have taken the name, need to take the correct names here. Okay, you can see the size is fine, but here we need to take it like the id is fine, but here I will take it like user id. Okay, user, here this one is the product id, no issue. Here we are going to take it like the user id. So user id, product id, as well as the site. Okay, these three things: user id, product id, as well as site. So here I'm going to take this user id, product id, as well as site. Here this is not required. So here we are going to post, click on send, and we'll see processing. Yeah, so model is required, we need to add the model at the top. So that's where this error comes. Here we are going to add the card model. Now we are going to try once again, click on send, and this time product added in user card successfully. We are going to check the product added to the user card, and here we are going to check in the cards table. We have the cars table here, and the new entry has come up. Okay, session id is 0, that is fine, but the user id, product id large, and see product id is 1, size is large, quantity is 1, and source is app, everything else is fine. Okay, but this entry we are going to make from the rect app. Once the user will click on checkout, this entry will be filled up. Okay, so that thing we are going to do in the next video. We are going to use this new api that we have just created in on our rect app, in which we are going to fetch, we are going to see, we are going to post the data to our table with the help of this api. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video. That's all for now. Have a nice time. Goodbye.